My guest today remembers a time when shock jock Howard Stern told her to clean up her act. She says it's a sign of how far she's fallen. Speaker and best-selling author Liz Curtis-Higgs is with me today to tell her story. Liz, thank you so much for joining us, first of all.
Always a blessing. Thank you for having me.
And I have to say, what was going on in your life that Howard Stern is telling you to clean up your act?
And he was right. I really did need to. I just hadn't hit bottom yet. Anybody who's traveled a road like I traveled, and this is some years ago now. We're going back to 1982. When I had gone in that downward spiral, just down and down. It was all sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's all the stuff we did in the 70s that we thought were just fine. It was legal. Well, okay, not all of it was legal, but there were a lot of lids that were flipped off in the 70s of things that were suddenly okay to do, or we thought they were. And so I ended up in the bottom of that pit. Howard did indeed find me one day. We worked at the same radio station, and he found me at my desk doing a line of coke, and he said, "Oh, Lizzie, you've got to clean up your life." And he really meant it.
Wow.
But I hadn't hit bottom yet, and so when I finally did, not too many months later, God sent two amazing, brand new Christians into my life who just loved me into the kingdom. You know, they didn't tell me to clean up my act. They didn't say, you need to believe in God. They said, God believes in you.
So first of all, what caused you to hit bottom? Like, what does that look like? Is it just, it isn't working for you anymore?
Yeah. What does cause us to hit bottom? I think we do a couple things that we know aren't right to do, and then a couple more things, and pretty soon you're hanging with a different crowd for whom those things are normal. So you lose any perspective of this is good behavior, this is bad behavior. This just became, quote, normal behavior. And you keep going down and down. The spiral only goes down, sadly. And you always tell yourself, oh, I can stop this anytime I want to. I can quit drinking, I can quit smoking pot, I can quit doing coke. But then the day comes when you realize, I can't quit any of these things. And even if I wanted to, it's too late. I've gone too far, I've done too much. And that's when you need to meet a God who says, you cannot out-sin the grace of God.
And you really experienced that through your new friends. Like, they literally must have been thinking, hey, you know, just like Howard Stern, you need to clean up your act, but they never said that.
No, there was no judgment coming from them. There was no sense of, you know, finger shaking or disgust being around me, even though I had a mouth like a sailor and my lifestyle was terrible and I smelled like booze or cigarettes or you name it all the time. They just loved me. They included me in their life. I don't think I would have included me in my life back then. You know, they were a happy married couple with an adorable child. I don't think I'm the influence I would have brought into my home. But they saw past all that and loved me where I was. I'm so grateful.
And they invited you to church. That's kind of what started your own spiritual journey.
Yeah, actually, I invited myself to their church.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were I just had never known anybody like them. They didn't fit the Christian mold to me at all. They were funny, they were adorable, they were fairly normal. They didn't seem, you know, wild or off the deep end. They were just totally in love with God and convinced he was totally in love with them and with me. And I find that love is irresistible, just irresistible. And so I did. I invited myself to their church and I went, and, you know, amazingly, the ceiling didn't collapse, lightning bolts didn't come striking down. And I actually knew that very first Sunday that that's what I'd been looking for my whole life. It took a while till I could understand it and confess it and move forward in it. But there was such a deep sense of knowing, of saying, this is it.
Wow. So how did that start changing you? The fact that you kind of opened the door now to that love that you were seeing from God, through those people, but from God.
Definitely from God.
What did it do? What happened to the old Liz?
Well, yeah, that 26-year-old Liz is how I always think of her, because I was 27 when I met Jesus. And Liz at 26 didn't love herself, didn't have any moral standards, had given up on Liz. And suddenly, these are people who believed in me and talked about a God who believed in me. And suddenly, I began to believe that maybe I could have a new life, start over. Imagine, actually being able to start over. I'm a terrible bowler, so my favorite thing to do is after you've had several bad rolls, you just draw a line. Any bowlers out there understand this, where you draw a line and you start over. Well, that's what God did for me. He just drew a line and said, that's the past. That is all forgiven. Let's start fresh together, Liz. Now, having said that, can I add one thing that's so important that I didn't understand for a long time? So I thought, okay, I'm forgiven for all my past, but now it's up to me. Now I have to do this, and if I mess up at all, doomsday.
It's over.
It's over. There's no hope. And that's not really the good news. The good news is you're forgiven for everything in your past, everything you're doing wrong right now. Right now. I don't know if you're doing anything wrong right this second.
Maybe not right now, but we still do things wrong, right? Even when we try not to.
Oh, I don't know. I could probably, if I worked real hard, pull something right out of my head right now that I shouldn't be thinking. And even if it's just about myself instead of others. And everything we're going to do wrong, God knows all of it. He has paid for all of it. That's the amazing thing to me about grace. It's not a one-time stamp of approval. It's a come home. I have good news for you.
And you have had another chapter in your faith journey the last couple of years, a cancer diagnosis. Tell me about that.
Well, unexpected. Nobody in my family has had cancer. I'm the youngest of 6, and just wasn't prepared for that. And they did all the things they do. They did surgery, they did chemo, they did radiation. They said, don't worry, we've got it all. It's going to be fine. But then it wasn't. And so new tumor, and you are chemo resistant, Liz. We can't even give you chemo and have it work.
Oh, wow.
So what does that leave you with? Well, more radiation and then something called immunotherapy, which I am pretty sure God handed down to us as just a sheer gift, because it uses our body's immune system, which He created, to fight the cancer cells. So instead of putting bad stuff in your body, you're putting good stuff in your body. And so that's the journey I've been on, and it's been amazing. Except for losing my hair, but hair's so overrated. And I'm excited because with the wig, I actually have way more hair than I do normally. So it's all good,
and it's
baby.
perfect all the time.
All the time. That's right. It's just
awesome.
all the time. So, it's been a joy. I've been speaking all through this. I don't actually call it a journey. I call it my cancer adventure.
Wow.
Because I feel like it's been an adventure with God. He has shown up in ways I could never have imagined. He is so faithful.
Just that word cancer just strikes fear in our hearts, either for ourselves or for people that we love that are going through it. Did you have moments of fear or terror?
Well, everybody does. I think, you have to have that moment of, but it didn't last very long, because immediately I thought, okay, I believe in a sovereign God. This was not a shock to Him. He isn't up in heaven wringing His hands saying, poor Liz, I'm so sorry. No way. He was going to walk me through this and teach me through this. And what He taught me is not only His faithfulness, but the incredible love of His people. The hundreds of cards and love and gifts and prayers from strangers just really showed me how beautiful the body of Christ is. So it's been a great journey. It's not over yet. Anybody who's had cancer knows we love to say, I'm cured, and in Jesus' name, may that be so. But the doctor was careful to say, we never say cancer-free. We say we are managing your cancer.
Wow.
And so it's well managed by God, that's for sure.
Last question. I know there's some Liz's watching right now, people who feel like I have gone too far down that spiral to ever get out. I can't change, so therefore I can't ever invite God in because I'm too dirty and I'm never going to do anything good, or I'm never going to stop doing these bad things.
Right.
What would you say to that person?
Oh, my darling sister or brother. If you are dirty, you take a shower. You don't take a pre-shower before you get in the shower to get clean enough for the shower. When you know that you've got, like the young man who was out in the far country in the pig pen, I always say when he turned toward home, he was still covered with piggy bits. Nowhere in the Bible does it say he took a shower. And he ran into his father's embrace, and actually his father ran to him. We just need to get in the shower, dear friends, the shower of God's love. It's not about us being worthy, us getting our act together, us doing all the right things, then maybe God will love us. He already loves us. He can't love us any more than He already does. So the thought of, I have to be worthy of His love or do something or earn it, no way. That's not grace. That's law. But we serve a God of grace.
You are such a great messenger of who he is, and so surprising in your joy, I think, in a way. Sometimes we forget that. We get so serious about it.
Oh,
And you are
never been accused of being serious.
you are absolutely refreshing. Thank you so much for joining us, Liz.
My total joy. Thank you.